Hey everybody, this is Peter with Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to be taking a look at Heart of Darkness. This is the newest box set for Alien the RPG by Free League Publishing. It is the third cinematic scenario that they've brought out. It is the kind of the wrapping up of the trilogy for the Draconis strain by Andrew C. Gasca. These have been individual scenarios that can take 3 to 5 sessions to play through, but they have kind of an overarching theme of, again, this Draconis strain, this black goo that has been found that does a lot of mutating of people into xenomorph type creatures. So today we're going to take a look again just through this latest cinematic scenario. We're going to go up to the computer and pull out the PDF and kind of flip through it just a little bit, and not giving any kind of spoilers for the story other than what is given to the players at the beginning of the scenario. And then we're going to come back to the table, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this series of cinematic scenarios, as well as the latest cinematic scenario, Heart of Darkness. So let's go ahead and jump over to the PDF, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, everybody. So here we are with the PDFs for the Alien the Role-Playing Game Cinematic Scenarios by Andrew E.C. Gasca. The first one in this trilogy that he has written is Chariot of the Gods. The second one was Destroyer of Worlds, and now we have just recently released the third, Heart of Darkness. The cinematic scenarios, again, like we've stated, are meant to be played in probably 3 to 5 gaming sessions, and they can be played as standalone, but if you want to get this whole overarching scenario or idea that Andrew E.C. Gasca has put together about the Draconis strain, you could play your way through all 3 scenarios. But the latest scenario, Heart of Darkness, is summarized this way. The company found a new life form, and they want you to study it. Their offer is uncharacteristically generous. You catalog this organism, determine how they can use it, and bring it back so they can slap their patent on it. Fairly routine stuff. In exchange, they'll hook you up with a cushy corporate department head position, secure you a book deal, and make sure the institute of your choice gives you tenure. Did I mention the money? There's a lot of it. Simple survey, sample, and analysis job. Seemed too good to be true? Of course it is. They neglected to tell you this alien life was found by a work crew on a lonely space station sitting on the razor edge of a black hole. They also forgot to mention that the station crew is a prison workforce composed of murderers, thieves, and the robot guards who wrangle them. This isn't some minor singularity, it's devouring its sister stars in a cacophony of swirling plasma, gamma rays, and death. Extremophile or not, what the hell can live in all that? Whatever it is, it's got to be different from anything we've encountered before. Something strange. Something alien. Heart of Darkness is a complete cinematic scenario for the Alien role-playing game. It requires either the Alien RPG core rulebook or the boxed starter set to play. In the scenario, players take the roles of an extrasolar science team with a mystery to solve. While it is a standalone adventure, Heart of Darkness also serves as a conclusion to the Draconis strain saga begun in the cinematic scenario Chariot of the Gods and continued in Destroyer of Worlds. Heart of Darkness is designed for 3 to 5 players plus the game mother and is a spiraling descent into soul-crushing madness. Expect it to take at least 3 sessions to complete. So all of that tells you what I've told you before about this game. Alien is just phenomenal at grasping and making you feel the strain and the stress that comes with this intellectual property. Now, again, the thing that I love about it is that this brings back personal agendas, which are agenda cards that each of the players will receive at different portions throughout the game, and this kind of builds on the whole 3-act structure of the cinematic scenario itself. So in one act, everybody's characters will get their personal agenda, and that helps them to role play that character and to bring their part of the story to life. And with each going act, they will get another personal agenda card. This scenario also continues, like Destroyer of Worlds, the story cards. Story cards are just very much like personal agenda cards, but they focus a little bit more on the actual story that's trying to be told. This can feel a little railroady for a lot of players. Maybe this is not something that would normally be to your personal taste, but I think it's actually a really great idea, especially with the cinematic scenarios that we have with the Alien the role-playing game, because you are looking for kind of a very specific story to be told here, and this gives you and the players a way to make sure that that happens. Plus, there's a lot of spinning plates that are happening here for the game mother, the person in charge of running the game, and these story cards help to make sure that each of the players are buying into the story, buying into their character as well, and that helps take a little bit of weight off of the game mother as well. So I love the personal agendas. They've been around again since the beginning of the game, and then story cards were introduced with Destroyer of Worlds, and I think both of them do a great job of helping the players have a little bit more buy-in and understanding of what's happening in the story, as well as making sure that the game mother can make that story happen pretty fluidly. We have a scenario overview that breaks down the 3 acts for the game mother, and then we have information about the system that the game itself takes place in, the black hole that the Erebus station is on the verge of falling into, and what it's like living at the edge of a black hole. This is a big part of this scenario, is the fact that everything close to this black hole is possibly going to be driven mad by the situation and by the gamma rays and all the things that are happening here. And so there's instances that you will be rolling on a chart to see if you have any of the symptoms that come from being close to this black hole, which I think the worst roll ends up having you attack the player closest to you. And those rolls get exceedingly more difficult as you go through the scenario itself. Again, that's the NDDS, the terrors of living on the edge of this thing. And here's the chart itself that you'll be rolling on to see if you have any of these side effects from being so close to the black hole. Here's a breakdown of the situation that you will read to your players as the game gets started, and then everything else in this book is going to be spoilers, and I don't want to be giving away any spoilers for the people who are watching this who might be playing it rather than running it. But if you're running it, just know that there are new creatures created for this scenario. There's intelligent, very, very intelligent alien life that is going to be helping to kind of try to steer the players to do things for them, as well as there is one special NPC, a 4-legged NPC that might be able to be played by a player if you would so choose. And so that is one spoiler I don't want to give away specifically, but one that I'm very excited about as well. So all that to be said, that is Heart of Darkness. You're on the edge of space, you're on the edge of a black hole in a space station that has been a prison colony for all of these murderers and thieves, and you are here to research this Draconis strain. And as usual, things are going to go wrong, things are going to fall apart, all hell's going to break loose, and it's just going to be a lot of tense fun. So that's all I wanted to give for Heart of Darkness. Again, I don't want to give spoilers for the people who are going to be playing this game. If you're somebody who's already been running some of Alien, this is you're just going to buy this. There's no reason you're not going to buy this and run it for your players because you've already fallen in love with the game itself. If you're new to just now checking out the Alien role-playing game, I would suggest that you head on over to freelypublishing.com and check out more information on it. But just again, I will give you my final thoughts here in a moment and try to sell you on it, because I think this is one of the coolest role-playing games that take on an intellectual property that is so loved by a huge population of people, and I think it brings that intellectual property to life in a way that I've not seen any other role-playing game do for any other intellectual property, period. So let's go ahead and come away from the PDF, go back to the table, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts on Alien, the role-playing game, Heart of Darkness. Okay, so we've finished taking a look at Heart of Darkness for the Alien, the role-playing game. It's the latest cinematic scenario in the trilogy, the Draconis trilogy. And I'm going to tell you, I think it is incredibly well done. Now, I will tell you this. I have run only one of these scenarios so far, ran the Chariot of God scenario for the players at my table, and we really loved it. We enjoyed the process of playing, and you can actually watch that video on our YouTube channel here as well. But it is a lot of work. It's a lot of reading for the GM, the game mother, to understand all of the different things that are taking place in these scenarios. And there's just so much happening. There's a lot of NPCs, and there's very much a story that is trying to be told, because the idea with the cinematic scenario is your players are playing through a movie type scenario. I think it's amazing. I love it. I like the story cards. I like the personal agendas. I enjoy the 3-act structure of each of these scenarios, so that it feels like you're playing through a movie, through a very big story. But it does take some more work as the person running the game to get it so that your players are understanding everything that's taking place. It also takes a lot of work from the players to really be not just role-playing their character, but really paying attention to what is happening, what's going on. I've played a lot of role-playing games and sessions where players will they'll only check in every so often, and to each player their own, to each game group their own. But for this game, I feel like you really want to make sure your players understand going into it that you're really hoping that they're going to really be all sold out on the session, to really be paying attention to what is being said by the game mother, to really be paying attention to their story cards and the personal agendas, because you are working together as a group to make this story happen. And again, if you're not paying a lot close of attention, it would be easy to get lost in some of these scenarios. Now, if you are sold out and you're ready to play this game, I think you're going to have one of the better role-playing games that you've ever had, because it is just so cinematic. It's so fun. It takes this intellectual property of Alien and it really brings it to life. And I've never played another game that does it quite so well as this one. So with all that being said, I think Heart of Darkness is another great addition to this trilogy. It's got the potential to be a really fun set of sessions. Again, I can't imagine sitting down and playing through this whole thing in one session. I know Chariot of Gods we played through, it took us 2 sessions to get through it. So again, 2 to 3 sessions, probably, maybe a little longer, depending on how much of the scenario the game mother decides to bring in, because there are some things that are kind of like mandatory to happen, and then some things that are a little bit more just as time provides, or if the game mother really wants it to be in the scenario. But I think this is, again, a great trilogy of scenarios. I think if you play through all of them, you have anywhere up to 9 to probably even 15 sessions of play, which would be quite a lot for me and my group. So it's a ton of material here. And then I think what I'm most excited by, having read through these, having played through the one, is now, where does this game go next? I know there's going to be a lot of people who probably want to lean into campaign games for this game, and I think that would be fun. But I personally really just love the cinematic scenarios. This is where the Alien game, I think, thrives. I think it's where it shines. And so I hope to see more cinematic scenarios coming out for this game. I hope to continue to see more unique alien creatures that we're going to have to go up against. I hope to see more tense, dramatic filled scenarios, just like the 3 that we have received so far. I think it's a phenomenal game. I think they're making great cinematic scenarios, and I just want to see more of that, with maybe some different twists, maybe some new game mechanics thrown in as well. But so far, I've been blown away by everything that Free League has done for this franchise, for this game. I've been blown away by Andrew C. Gaska's writing, and just, again, everything's phenomenal. So I hope this helps you decide if you want to dive into the Alien games. If you haven't yet, I highly recommend it. If it is a series of movies or books, if you've played video games in the past, if it's something that you enjoy, and you want to play a role-playing game, I highly recommend you check this one out. It's a lot of fun. The stress is so palpable. Head on over to Free League Publishing to check out their other games as well as this one. And you can check out tabletopgamingguild.com to learn more about us and the things that we're doing. So thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, give it a like, maybe subscribe to the channel. And until we talk again, keep on playing games.